From the top menu bar, click Tenants and click the tenant that contains the source endpoint. In the left navigation pane, expand the tenant, expand Application Profiles, and expand the application profile that contains the endpoint. Expand Application EPGs and click the EPG to be inspected. In the Work pane, click the Operational tab. From the list of endpoints in the Endpoint table, double-click the source endpoint to open the Client Endpoint window. In the Client Endpoint window, verify the endpoint properties and then click the Close button. In the Endpoint table, view the interface entry for the endpoint. Repeat this procedure for the destination endpoint. From the top menu bar, click Fabric and click the Inventory submenu. In the left navigation pane, expand the pod and expand the node ID of the source endpoint interface. Under the node, expand Interfaces, expand Tunnel Interfaces, and click the tunnel ID of the source endpoint interface. In the Work pane, verify the tunnel interface properties and repeat this procedure for the destination endpoint interface. From the top menu bar, click Tenants, and then click the tenant that contains the source endpoint. In the left navigation pane, expand the tenant and expand Troubleshoot Policies. Under Troubleshoot Policies, right-click Endpoint-to-Endpoint Traceroute Policies and choose Create Endpoint-to-Endpoint Traceroute Policy. The Create Endpoint-to-Endpoint Traceroute Policy window opens. Type a name for the traceroute policy in the name field. In the Admin State field, choose Start from the drop-down list. In the IP area, choose an IP protocol from the drop-down list. In the Source Endpoints table, click the plus icon to edit the traceroute source. Choose the AP, EPG, CEP, and IP from the drop-down lists, and click Update. In the Destination Endpoints table, click the plus icon to edit the traceroute destination. Choose the AP, EPG, CEP, and IP from the drop-down lists, and click Update. Click Submit to launch the traceroute. In the left navigation pane, click the traceroute policy. The traceroute policy is displayed in the Work pane. In the Work pane, click the Operational tab, click the Source Endpoints tab, and click on the source endpoint. In the Traceroute Results table, verify the path or paths that were used in the trace. Configure atomic counters on the two endpoints. Verify that packets are being sent and received, and that the number of packets received is equal to the number of packets sent. Configuration of atomic counters is described in a separate help module and video. From the top menu bar, click Tenants, and then click the tenant that contains the source endpoint. In the left navigation pane, expand the tenant, expand Troubleshoot Policies, and expand Span. Under Span, right-click Span Destination Groups and select Create Span Destination Group. Type a name for the span destination in the field provided. In the Create Destinations table, click the plus icon to open the Create Span Destination window. Type a name for the span destination in the field provided. From the Destination EPG drop-down lists, choose or type the destination tenant, application profile, and EPG to which replicated packets will be forwarded. In the destination IP field, type the IP address of the remote server that will receive the replicated packets. In the source IP prefix field, type the base IP address of the IP subnet of the source packets. In the flow ID field, increment or decrement the flow of the span. In the TTL field, increment or decrement the IP time to live value of the packets in the span traffic. As an optional step in the DSCP field, increment or decrement the IP DSCP value of the packets in the span traffic. Click OK to save the span destination. Click Submit to save the span destination group. In the left navigation pane, under Span, right-click Span Source Groups and select Create Span Source Group. The Create Span Source Group window opens. Type a name for the span source group in the field provided. From the Destination Group drop-down list, choose the span destination group that you configured previously. In the Create Sources table, click the plus icon to open the Create ER-Span Source window. Type a name for the source in the field provided. In the Direction field, choose the radio button based on whether you want to replicate and forward packets that are incoming to the source, outgoing from the source, or both directions. From the Source EPG drop-down list, choose the EPG whose packets will be replicated and forwarded to the span destination. Click OK to save the span source, and click Submit to save the span source group. Using a traffic analyzer at the span destination, you can observe the data packets from the span source EPG to verify the packet format, addresses, protocols, and other information.